lovelies. It's Joanna here again from Mojo Stitches. I keep realizing I forget to introduce myself. So, hi, I'm Joanna. Nice to have you come for a visit. Forgive me for being a little bit late getting back to you. Things happening, life, you know how it is, but here, and thank you for everybody who left such nice comments on my last video. I think I've replied to everybody, and I still find it quite amazing that you want to spend some time with me. So thank you very much. I hope everybody is well and safe and dry. I mentioned the dry because it's meant to be springtime here, and it is raining again, or perhaps I should say still. We don't have flooding nearby where I am at the moment, but yeah, the rain has just been crazy. So I kind of feel like we're in autumn with you know, you guys in the US and the Northern Hemisphere. I feel like we're both in autumn at the same time. I keep having to remind myself it's meant to be spring. It's just crazy. Anyway, enough complaining about the weather. Catch up on last video. Thank you for everyone about your comments about Annie Alfrey, the sampler, the impossible sampler with the over one. I think I will make some smalls out of it, and not over one, of course. That'll give us an opportunity to, you know, study her beautiful sampler and make something lovely out of it without having to go blind. So yes, keep an eye out. That will be coming. So yeah, that was really nice to talk to you guys about. And my lovely friend Alison apparently has been doing some research about Annie, and she's going to let me know about little Annie Alfrey and what she's found out about her life too. So that'll be really nice. Shout out Alison. Other things happening. Oh, shop update. I have, excitingly, some thread packs. There are still some left in the library. For those of you that have been waiting so patiently, thank you so much. I have a few of the full skein thread packs left, which are just, you know, lush. And I have lots of the pre-sorted ones, which is just enough to stitch the design on 32, 36 or 40. But I've been quite generous, so there's plenty in there if you know, need to do some frogging or you want to play with the variegation and stuff. So I haven't had anyone tell me they've run out of one of my little kits, so I'm quite generous with them. So that's a great way to test out the new bookshelf threads with Cottage Garden Threads. It's a great way to have a little test out if you don't want to buy the full set just yet. So yeah, they're there up on Etsy, as well as PDFs of all the expo designs. So yeah, that's really exciting. I love being able to do PDFs because it means I can reach people who don't have an LNS nearby, or who live in a country where it's difficult to ship to or very expensive to ship to. So I love doing PDFs for people. And it's so environmentally good too, because then I'm not printing it out, you know. And those of you who work straight from your devices, I think that's just great. So I love a PDF. Okay, so that's a shop update. I also have, a sale update. The lovely Nicola at number 12 Stitch Co on Etsy, and who's handmade at number 12, I believe, on Instagram, is hosting a sale with my bird reproductions with, not that I really need to remind you, but you know, she's hosting a sale for people wanting to stitch Mary Barton's work or Among the Roses. And she's already done the whole bird on her beautiful French pear linen. It's a new linen. So this hashtag is Mojo Bird Flyaway Sale. So there are lots of people joining in. So if that's something you'd like to join in, please find Nicola on Instagram and follow the hashtag, and you can join in with everybody's progress. It's lovely seeing all these birds sort of come to life. You know, it's just lovely. And at the retreat I just went to, there were some other ladies talking about starting a sale with another one of my designs. So when I see that start popping up, I will mention that to you as well. I think stitch-alongs are just so wonderful. I grew up with stitching being a very solitary activity, and to see it such a community thing now and such a shared experience, I think is just lovely. And you know, that's what we're doing here, so that's great. So yes, we have a sale, shop update. What else do I have to remind you of? I should write, I'm going to write myself a little list next time. I will learn how to get better at this. I'm sort of taking a quiet moment in the house to do this. I meant to do it yesterday, but there was somebody chopping down trees, and we had dueling chainsaws. I'm very sensitive to sound. I'm a bit of a princess in the pea type. I'm not good with power tools and sounds and things, and it was like having your teeth drilled all day. It was just, anyway, first world problem. But yes, I'm very, very grateful that it's quiet here today, because that was painful. But I did have a very nice day was it last week? About 10 days ago. I have to update you on, just because I've got a little bit of fun things to show you. I had a lovely day out with my mum up to Blackheath, which is the kind of further end of the Blue Mountains in New South Wales, Australia. And Blackheath is a beautiful little mountain village, and it still retains a lot of the feeling of the Blue Mountains, which is a specific type of area that the Blue Mountains is where I grew up. So to visit these kind of places is for me a very kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like going home. And actually my grandparents, my mother's parents, had a house in Blackheath as I was growing up. That's where they lived from when I was kind of about 10 till sort of late teens. And I have so many lovely memories of their house, and it was always quite cold up there, and I remember lots of Christmas lunches and beautiful things. So it was really nice to go back to Blackheath, and it's a lovely little town. It's got fabulous cafes, and it's got this giant antique mall, which is why we were really going there, because we wanted to go and look at pretty things. And I found a couple of little treasures. They're just little things, but I thought I would show you just because it was fun. Now, I found these beautiful old tins. I think they're old chocolate box tins, but I just love these because look how pretty this is. Look how pretty it is. It was a box of chocolates. It's got Nestle's on the side. And I tell you, box of chocolates were a bit different back in the day. I love the old patina and scratchiness of it, and it was really cheap, so I'm going to have to put something pretty in that. I always like nice storage things that you can keep. And then this one came with it, had these weird romantic skunks on it. I think maybe it's a kind of non-copyright rip-off of Pepe Le Pew, which is a bit disturbing because I always found him very assaulty. But anyway, I love the shape and the old sort of patina on it, so I shall do something with this. It's very cute. And my favourite little bit of haul from the big antique centre we found was I've been looking for a new Ort jar because I have a couple of spots where I stitch, and I have one that I'm quite partial to that's in one spot, and I need another one for my other spot. And I found this. This is this old little tiny jug. It's got no markings on it, but it looks like one of those sort of like 1920s Japanese ones that were done for export market. Not an expert, but kind of what it looks like to me. I just thought this was the cutest thing. It was $5. That's my new Ort jar. my new little lemon jug. Anyway, that was my haul. Oh, my other part of the haul was in Blackheath. Aside from having a very nice gluten-free lunch, which is always a relief to find. There's a wonderful patchwork store up there called Patchwork Plus. And I haven't been there for years. I haven't been up to Blackheath since before the pandemic and everything. So it was really nice to go visit again. And the patchwork store was fabulous. And I met a lovely lady there called Tessa. Hi, Tessa, who works there and who's a stitcher as well. So it was really nice to meet another stitcher and one who's kind of local. So that was really fun. I got some beautiful little finishing fabrics that I'm going to have a play with. I'm a little bit of a quilter, like a sort of hobby quilter. I'm not a serious quilter. I know there's a lot of serious quilters out there, and you know, I love you guys. You kind of scare me because you can sew really, really good with a machine, and I'm a hand stitcher, so it's a whole other thing. But I'm learning, and it's a lovely thing. But these are for finishing fabrics, I think. So that would be really fun. Although I go a bit nuts when I go in a fabric store. You know, you kind of want everything because it's all so pretty. Anyway, Blackheath was really fun. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. If you're in Sydney or New South Wales and you haven't been up to the mountains, you know, do go visit. There's some lovely, lovely spots. So yeah, that was my day out, which I haven't had a day out for a really long time. So that was just lovely. Other than that, I have been working hard on a couple of new releases that I'm kind of announcing today. Yeah, I don't know about you, but when it comes to Christmas stitching, I just want something simple. Christmas is always so very busy, and you know, for me, if you can get a quiet moment to stitch, you know, I just want something simple and something really super relaxing. So I've done a couple of little Christmas designs. They're just small, because again, I think taking on something big in the lead up to Christmas can be a bit much. And Christmas stitching in general, I see all these wonderful house tours that people do, how they've decorated their entire houses with the seasons and that kind of thing. And that seems to be very much a US thing. I don't know anyone in Australia who does that to quite the extent. And I've been trying to work out why. And I have two theories. One of them is you guys have more, I think, distinct seasons because you have a very distinct autumn, fall. Our native trees don't change colour in fall, so we don't have the beautiful sort of fall displays you Aussies know. Unless you're somewhere that has lots of European or American trees, we sort of don't really get the autumn thing quite so much. So I think that's part of it. And I think, well, no, three reasons actually. I'm babbling this morning. Slow down. It's all right. I think I'm just trying to be in a hurry. Three reasons. One of it, I think, I know a little bit about this because my mother was born in America and my grandfather was American. So I feel like I also studied American history. So I feel like I have a little bit, I have a way to sort of talk about American culture, even though I haven't been there. So outsider's point of view, seems to be very structured by holidays in ways that I think other cultures aren't quite so much. And you guys have a lot of holidays that we don't have. So there's partly that. And there's partly my other theory is you guys who are lucky enough to have houses in the US, you have attics and basements where you can store lots of decorations. Houses in Australia don't have attics or basements. And I've always lived in really, really tiny places. So, you know, decorations that you just put up for a couple of weeks a year are just, you know, you got no space for that. So I usually put up a few things for Christmas. My extended family usually does more. So most people, I think, here do some Christmas stuff, but perhaps not quite to the extent of people you see who do these incredible displays. It must be so much fun to be able to do that. So I'm looking forward to seeing those. But anyway, getting back to Christmas stitching. Last year. Yes. Oh, my point. Again, I'm rambling. I'm not a big seasonal stitcher personally myself. I know a lot of people love to stitch things specifically for the season they're in and for the decorating and that kind of thing. And there are lots of designers who do beautiful, beautiful seasonal stuff like that. That's not so much my thing. I think partly because of the cultural difference. So I will be, you know, doing some seasonal designs, but that's not the main focus of my kind of designs. I like to stitch things that, you know, I want to see up all the time. So that's just me. But I will do some Christmas designs every year because I know even for people who aren't religious, I'm not religious myself, Christmas is very much a cultural holiday for a lot of people. So the Christmas designs are going to be something I want to do, but I have a little bit of a difficulty with that because Christmas in Australia is hot. We have it in the middle of summer, you Aussies know, and I grew up with everybody's Christmas decorations being snowmen and snowflakes and, you know, pine trees with lots of snow all over them, and you're sitting there boiling to death, and that doesn't work for me. And thankfully things have changed a little bit. When I was young, all the Christmas decorations you could get were very much Northern Hemisphere sort of focused, so it was all snow and snowmen and things, and no shade against that, they're beautiful, but doesn't fit with with our experience. So what I've decided to do for my Christmas designs is have one that's a traditional kind of Christmas, you know, red, white and green and you know, traditional Christmas, and one that's a kind of Australian Christmas. I did that last year, and that people seem to really like those. So that's my plan going forward. And because Australia is still kind of working out its Christmas kind of decor, I think, there are more Australiana things coming out that are really quite lovely. Sort of back 15, 20 years ago, they were all a bit tacky and, you know, it was just not great. You know, koalas with board shorts on surfboards and things. I mean, if that's your deal, beautiful. Not particular my aesthetic. So we're still kind of working out Christmas aesthetic. So I feel like I've got a bit of room to play with that. So anyway, let me show you my Christmas designs. Now, last year, I did just a little pillow that I called Be Merry. And I've seen lots of people stitch this, and it's really nice to see. It's just got a little forest of trees and some tiny little houses hiding there in the trees. It's a really simple design. It's only full crosses over two. Only uses a couple of colours, and I wanted to do one that matched. I always intended to do one that matched. So to go with Be Merry, we have Be Bright. For some reason, whenever I hear the word merry, I think merry and bright. I think it's from like the White Christmas song or something. I don't know why I think of that. Never had a white Christmas in my life, so I don't know why that resonates. But it's what always comes to my mind. So I have done this design, again, with a whole bunch of beautiful stars, you know, and twinkling lights. That is in the same colorway as this. There's a couple of different colors, but similar colorway. These are both stitched on the beautiful 32 count weathered by number 12 Stitch Co. And the trim I got from her as well. It's a chenille trim. I think it's called Army Greens, but she has different ones all the time. Now, so this is Be Bright. You can stitch this as a companion. They look beautiful in a little bowl together, or simply on its own. And my idea with this is really easy to customize to what you have in stash. and to your color scheme, because it uses, I think it's only 5 colors. You can easily change this to whatever you have available or to fit with your color scheme. I think it would look beautiful. I love those people that have those blue and silver Christmases. You could do blue and silver. You could make these, if you want to do it on a darker fabric, you can make these snowflakes and do them white. If you want to do metallics, you could make these beautiful snowflakes and little stars and things. You can make them metallics. Really easy to customize. Now, I can't wait to see what you're going to do. Again, this is a really simple, quick design. I think I stitched it up in 2 afternoons. So something that's not stressful when you're busy. So that's the first design, Be Bright. Now the second is my Australian design, where I did a little ornament. Now I was looking up for my kind of idea for Australian Christmas is to celebrate nature, you know, which is kind of my thing anyway. So I was looking at Australian mistletoe, which is a thing. It has yellow berries instead of the sort of the more traditional, I think, white ones that you guys have. There's quite a few different species, so I was looking at doing something with Australian mistletoe, and I was talking to the lovely Nikki Noodle. Hi, Nikki. And she suggested a beautiful bird called the Regent Honeyeater. So I have done a little Christmas ornament. It's a mistletoe wreath and the Regent Honeyeater. Now this uses the new bookshelf cottage garden threads. It uses, I think, 6 colours. Let me see what we've got here. Oh yes, uses Hearth, the beautiful black, Austin, the beautiful soft blue, 2 gorgeous yellows, Candlestick and Gilt, and 2 greens, Chamomile Tea and Conservatory. Now I have these all available in my Etsy store with the pattern when it comes up, and I'll also be selling kits with just enough to stitch the design. It's 2/2. Oh, I've lost my words. 2/2 using these threads. I have made it up into a little ornament. I'm going to include in my little kits a bit of the hanging trim as well. I'll talk about how I finished it in a moment. I did this on 32 count platinum. That's just what I had spare. So the great thing about ornaments is you can use scraps of things from other projects. And I love using up every scrap possible. You should see my little pile of scraps I keep for things. So feel free to use any fabric that you've got, you know, lying around that you've got a spare piece. And the chart comes with, of course, a DMC conversion and an overdye conversion as well. But if you wanted to have a little try of the cottage garden threads, it does come from my shop with little kits as well, with just enough to stitch and get for you to have a little taste of the threads. Now the chart will also be available from stores, both these charts. Information's gone out to stores already, so if you have an LNS, you can ask them to get it in for you. But I'm also putting them up at the same time in my Etsy store. Normally I give shops a little bit of time first, but I want to make sure everybody's got plenty of time before Christmas. So they are also up in my Etsy store, and my Etsy store is the only place where you can get it kitted up with the threads and the finishing trim. You can have your own fabric. So I hope that makes sense. I'll also have PDFs up there as well. Now for my finishing, I don't have a lot of experience finishing ornaments. I've never really made ornaments. I don't know why. I am now. This was super fun. I used a wonderful tutorial to inspire me. I think it's Cindy's Cross Stitch here on YouTube. I will link it on my blog post for this design on mojostitches.com. And I'd like to thank her for her wonderful tutorial that was on how to do round and oval ornaments. That was such a help, and was really, really good to follow. I followed a lot of her method, but I had to make a few things on my own. What I did is I used a backing fabric that is very similar in colour to the stitching fabric here. And to sew the two pieces together, because you kind of lace it with a bit of quilt batting behind. Again, if I can, on my blog post, I will link to her video so you can see. Anyway, you lace two pieces on some cardboard or mat board, and then you sew them together. Now, I used some very, very thin, strong sewing thread that, again, is the same colour, so you can barely see it. Now, in Cindy's tutorial, she used cording around the side. I wanted to keep it fairly simple, so I decided not to do that and just leave the stitching. You can barely see it anyway, and I kind of like seeing things that are handmade, but so that's all I did. The only other finishing I did was I used a piece of my lovely silk sari ribbon as the loop, the hanging loop there. That's just fixed on the inside, and then I took another piece and just a little short piece like that, did a granny knot around the front just to gather that in, cut it off at uneven lengths, and that's my finish. I thought that was really simple and really fun to do. Again, I stitched that in an afternoon and finished it in another. So it's really quick and easy to stitch, and I think both of these projects would also be wonderful for beginners. If you know someone who you think would like to start stitching or is getting started on stitching, these would be lovely things to give to them. You could kit them up and give it to them. That would be, I think, a really, really nice gift. And also, again, quick and easy things that you can stitch if you want to give them as finished pieces as gifts as well. So I'm calling this a Bushland Christmas ornament because I'll be doing a series of Aussie Christmas ornaments. I think maybe 2 a year. We might do Christmas in July as well. So yeah, they're my two new releases, Mistletoe and Be Bright. Available from my Etsy store or your LNS. In plenty of time before Christmas, which is always catches up on us. I don't know, always catches up on me. Christmas has always been quite a big thing in my family. We had quite an extended Christmas experience when I was growing up. My father's side of the family is European, and they celebrated Christmas very much on Christmas Eve. So we kind of had one half of the family on Christmas Eve, and then the other half of the family on Christmas Day, and then sort of our little nuclear family thing as well. So we kind of had this long-going thing, and it was yeah, have some interesting memories of family Christmases. They're always experiences. Yeah, and this one I'm really looking forward to because I get to see my brother and his family, and my sister and hers, and my parents, and yeah, other family I haven't seen for a long time. So really looking forward to that. So yes, Christmas stitching already done. Nice. Well, not quite. I have some other things as well, but we're getting there. So Christmas stitching. I'd love to see what you guys are stitching for Christmas, although I think there's still some Halloween stitching going on. Oh. Like I said, I wanted to get in early to make sure you have plenty of time to get the designs just when you finish your Halloween stitching. And Aussie Stitches, how do you feel about Christmas sort of designs? What do you like to stitch for Christmas? Because I'm really looking forward to hearing from you about what you would like to decorate in an Australian Christmas kind of thing, because I don't think we've quite narrowed down on what an Aussie Christmas should look like. Yes, it looks like lots of different things to different people, and I'm curious to sort of hear how you feel and what you guys want to stitch. And yeah, so I'm rambling again. More secret projects going along. Had a bit of a crushing disappointment with the secret project, but I'll leave that till next time. we have some secret projects going on. I have some big pieces I'm working on as well. Like I said, just wanted to get something simple out for Christmas because there's enough going on. How you guys with kids and grandkids and everything manage all the business over Christmas, I'm astounded by. So yeah, something simple, something fun, something relaxing for a quiet moment for yourself amongst all the busyness. So yeah, that's what I've got happening at the moment. Some stories to tell next time. We're gonna have a look at Annie Elfrey again and see about, I think I'd like to do some smalls, like I said. So we might maybe we'll make that the project that you guys come along on the process for, since you've seen her already. We shall see. Yeah, so hi to everybody. Hope you're all well again. I'm rambling. I will be back much sooner this time because I have more things to share with you, and I want to go into some upcoming projects and also some of my past releases. I want to show you some details about where sort of the designs came from, and if they're reproductions, show you the antiques, because I know that's always lovely to see. So yes, please do hang around. We are awfully close to the point where I can start giving away lovely things, so please do subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, tag me in your projects if you're doing the bird stitch along. I really want to see, so please do tag me in them, because that's easier for me to find them. I hope you have a lovely week. Lots and lots of stitching time. I hope if you're here in Australia it stops raining, which is not something we usually say. We normally don't have enough rain, but now had enough. Please, can it stop? So I hope we get some spring weather. I hope we get some peace and quiet coming up before Christmas after all the busyness of the year. So yes, I think I will leave it there for today. Again, thank you for spending some time with me. Please do leave a comment down below if you'd like to be entered in the competition. I will be giving away lots of goodies when we hit 500 subscribers, and I appreciate that very much. So weird asking, but you know, we'll see. Thank you so much for that, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.